And welcome back to the Man Up channel. I am your host, Bob Buckland, and with me again today is John Font.
Hello, we're dear.
And we got special guest today, Beth Buckland, as well.
Hello.
And today the question is, when is a joke no longer a joke?
Well, we've decided that a joke is no longer a joke when it stinks. Or at least that's what Hollywood has told us.
That is the perfect segue into Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew, you know, the classic and beloved cartoon characters from the Looney Tunes. I can't do the cat pushing away sounds. I'm sorry about that.
I didn't even know what that was, but yes. That's what he does. That was like 95% of Pepe Le Pew's lines.
Yeah.
And then he says things in French.
Right? Kissing her right up the arm.
That's why I thought he was offensive. I thought it was offensive because it was a French stereotype. But no. You know, it's sad and disappointing, but this is coming from the Fox News. If you guys have not heard of this yet, which I'd be greatly surprised if you didn't. But this article comes from Charles M. Blow. And what does he have to say about Pepe Le Pew and his antics in the classic cartoons?
I have no idea, but I'm sure it's not pretty.
Like the skunk, it is not pretty. He goes on to say, this helped teach boys that no doesn't really mean no. That is a part of the game, the starting line of the power struggle. It taught overcoming a woman's strenuous, even physical objections was normal, adorable, funny. They didn't even give the woman the ability to speak.
I mean, it was a cat that was painted as a skunk.
Yeah, she always got an accidental white line on her back in some different way in the... I don't know. I lost track of how many cartoons I watched of this.
I agree, but I thought all of them were funny, and usually he got hurt all the time.
Yeah, he normally got beat senseless by the end of the show.
And he would find out that she was a cat, and he'd be like, oh.
I like your French. Your French is wonderful.
Oh.
Sounded just like him. You've been practicing. I can tell.
Mel Blanc, I am not. Well, and then reading again in the Los Angeles Times, Pepe Le Pew has been cut from the Space Jam 2, and his co-star wants the footage. Pepe Le Pew is cut from an upcoming sequel to Space Jam, A New Legacy, but could complete footage of his scene with Gracie Santo exist? A representative for Santo believes it does and is offering a $100,000 reward for anyone who can provide the footage of the animated live-action exchange.
I ain't gonna lie. I want to watch it.
I would totally watch that.
It got cut out of the movie, but everybody wants to see it. Warner Brothers responded with a letter to the Times. It is a crime for someone to solicit another and distribute what Warner Brothers property is. The scene in question involves a problematic animated skunk, also known as Pepe Le Pew. They don't want to use his name anymore, obviously. The animated skunk approaches the live-action star, played by Santo, in a bar. She pushes Pepe away, and he starts kissing her arm. Then she pours her drink on him, and eventually backhands the persistent skunk, which sends his bar stool spinning before it is stopped by the film star, LeBron James.
That sounds hilarious.
It does.
I would totally want to see that.
Like I said, I've lost track of how many Saturdays I've watched Pepe Le Pew. I don't.
That's a basic summary of most of his entire half-hour sketches.
Yeah, like all of it. Yeah, he's always chasing the cat, and the cat's like, no. And then somehow she changes back to a cat, and he's like, ew, gross.
Right, he's like, oh, why would I do that? And then he walks away, but...
You know, there was at least one to where she's like, okay, I'm game. And she's like, starts making the advances towards Pepe. Then he gets completely freaked out and starts running away. It was hilarious.
That was a good one. Santo, who posted a playful Instagram shot of herself on the set, told The Times that she was very disappointed to learn that the scene had been cut from the film. She said its message was meaningful to her as someone who has spoken out against sexual harassment. Quote, for me, it was important to have a scene in the movie to inspire younger generations and also older generations so we can correct this behavior, said Santo, who is best known for portraying Blanca in Jane the Virgin. I felt this scene was a way to show kids that this kind of behavior is wrong. So she was very sad that I mean, granted, it was her scene in the movie, but she felt that it had the opposite effect considering she got to defend herself against an animated skunk.
Can I just say how stupid that sounds? I defended myself against something that wasn't there.
But that makes you more... Does that make you feel empowered?
That makes me feel empowered. I hit something that wasn't even there.
According to Deadline, the reported deleted scene in the sequence was cut before Pepe Le Pew came under renewed scrutiny, including a New York Times column. The fact that we're devoting whole columns in giant newspapers to this random cancel culture blows my mind. Let me finish. That said, the character, quote unquote, normalizes rape culture.
I'm not buying it. I mean,
yeah, did you guys
we've all watched these cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever felt that this was perpetuating rape culture because of a cartoon character was being over friendly to a cartoon character?
No, we always thought it was funny. Like, and look at you, like, how many of our generations have they grown up? I don't think any of us have like, oh, that's how Pepe Le Pew acted. We should totally act like that. I'm like, come on.
Well, what makes funny stuff funny most of the time is it's unexpected. It's something that you're like, that would, oh yeah, it just happened.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the kind of stuff that you see and you're like, I mean, I know we'll move into the Muppets beyond that, but people are saying that, like, Animal is making fun of black people. No, that's how my children acted 3 years ago when they threw temper tantrums at Walmart. Does that make my children racist? No, it makes them 5.
Yeah, I don't get this one at all.
I don't either. I mean, we've all watched Looney Tunes. Let's face it. At some point in your life, you did want to drop an anvil on somebody's head.
Oh yeah, no, I loved Wile E. Coyote.
Well,
I'm
and
just
it's
saying.
just so, like, I mean, if you've ever seen an anvil, you can't pick it up. The thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Like, if you dropped it on accident on your hand or something, it would be useless for the rest of your life. But it's a cartoon, and you're like, yes.
I mean, if we were to take this realistically, like these people want us to, I would have done everything that Wile E. Coyote
I was
ever
just going to
did.
say, you guys, I want to defy gravity when I walk off a cliff and just sit there until I realize that I walked off of it and then fall. That's what I want to do.
Well, I find it so funny that they're trying to, like, the people that are involved in these things, that are the actual, who are probably way farther left than we are, like Gracie, whether they would be involved in the project or not, I think that they would be in the same boat as far as, like, this is too far. Like, this is crazy. Like, it was a funny, silly scene in a animated movie.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if it had been like, you know, an old man in there and he started feeling up her arm and she dumped wine on him and then spun him around in the chair, that might be a little weird, but it's an animated skunk.
Oh, and I know that our boys would have thought that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. They
I
would
would have thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, not only us adults would have been like, oh, that's so classy. That's, like, so him. That, you know, like, we'd been like, ha, 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 ha. But our boys would have been like, that's funny.
Right.
Like, I'm just saying.
I guess our problem is we understand what a joke is.
What? No. I know Gabriel Iglesias is already, he's the voice of Speedy Gonzales in the new Space Jam movie, and he goes, does this mean you're going to cancel Fluffy too? You can't catch me, cancel culture. I'm the fastest mouse in all of Mexico.
Oh, no.
Iglesias didn't reveal any additional details about Speedy's exact role in Space Jam 2, but his defiant note resonates with fans of the character who sped onto screens in 1953, although it didn't become the Speedy everyone recognized today until he starred opposite of Sylvester the Cat in 1955 short. But we did he did get a Mexican to play the Mexican cat. Did we get a Frenchman to play this skunk?
Yeah. Did we?
No, I mean, nobody liked Frenchmen anyway, so they probably should. Oh, stereotypes. We're
So
gonna
which is
get
worse?
banned for that one.
Which is
Way to
worse,
go.
that or the French chef? Or he's a Swedish chef.
Swedish chef.
Is he
Swedish
a real
chef.
Swedish guy that plays that?
I don't know. We can't ever understand him.
And why doesn't the Swedish chef make Swedish meatballs? Anyway. For another show. Oh, goodness. So, hang in there. Support Speedy. And, I don't know, support Pepe? That sounds terrible.
Support Pepe.
Maybe you should finish it all the way through, not just Pepe.
Pepe. Le Pew.
There we go. Always we sound kind of naughty when we say just support the Pepe.
Support the Pepe.
Disclaimer: this show is not made for kids.
Oh, moving forward from there.
Who else is getting canceled?
Who else are we canceling today?
The imaginary pig.
The imaginary pig.
She's not imaginary. She's fluff.
We're going to call her
The Muppet Miss Piggy.
the Muppet Gina Carano. I mean, Miss Piggy.
Oh, you know what? She is pretty badass, so okay.
Knows karate. Normally fights with a tiny little green main character.
I just always love how Miss Piggy would be like all calm and quiet, walk into the situation and try and take charge. And then the Muppets would all just like lose their crap and fly around and like make all kinds of noises. And she would just start chopping people. And she'd be like, listen to me! And then she'd like chop a few people, usually Gonzo.
Like that. Hi-ya!
And that's when people started listening. But that is no longer the case. In the controversy surrounding Pepe Le Pew's removal from Warner Brothers' Space Jam sequel, social media users are calling for the cancellation of another popular television character, Miss Piggy.
To be fair, Miss Piggy's behavior has been known to be rather problematic, but it's all a part of her shtick. From constantly harassing Kermit the Frog to karate chopping various Muppet characters, this temperamental diva is certainly no picture of innocence.
I love how they make it sound like it's some sort of like criminal mastermind. Like, Miss Piggy is a serial killer. She's on trial right now for karate chopping various Muppets.
She finally got Kermit the Frog.
She even broke Gonzo's thumb.
No!
Does Gonzo have thumbs?
I don't know. He might.
Now we're like,
Well,
does he have thumbs?
Typically they have 4 fingers, so I'd imagine the one is still a thumb.
I would think so.
I would hope so.
Following the publication of Blow's article, The Hollywood Reporter revealed on Monday that Pepe Le Pew, a French skunk introduced to audiences in 1945 and known for making aggressive sexual advances. Again, I feel like we're putting these not people, they're cartoon characters,
Yeah.
on some sort of trial. Has Pee Wee Herman been canceled yet?
Since the 80s.
He should have been canceled a long time
I was
ago.
going to say, Pee Wee Herman's not long
Anyway, they said, quote, okay, I'm holding Miss Piggy accountable. Since we're going down this route, one person wrote, excessive violence towards guests and a variety of Muppets, plus various examples of sexual harassment toward Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, but she's a woman, so it's okay.
Dadgummit Twitter. And then down at the bottom it says, what about Miss Piggy? She does the same thing to Kermit the Frog, referencing Pepe Le Pew. But from the female point of view, we need to get rid of Miss Piggy as well. We need to cancel all cartoons from back in the day because they don't fit into today's society. We are all screwed up from watching these things.
I mean, they're not wrong. That is a valid point.
Yeah, you guys are pretty messed up.
And then, next to go, Clifford the Dog. Clifford, who used steroids to grow and pontificated off of his illegal drug use. Hashtag cancel a cartoon character.
How dare you, Clifford?
How dare you? There are no updates as to whether Walt Disney, which owns the Muppets, plans in fact to cancel Miss Piggy.
Do you think like they're just going to make her softer?
Well, you
Or
always...
do you
No,
think...
she's already a Muppet, so
when-
she's not going to get soft.
Whenever you look at a decision that someone like Disney makes, normally it all ends up swaying to their god, which is money. And if they could make money off of Miss Piggy, I fully expect Walt Disney to make money off of Miss Piggy.
Yeah. I just didn't know if they were going to, like, try to change her character to make her be more, like, gentler to...
Well, you do
Kermit,
realize that
but-
that's what they started calling for. But it wouldn't shock me if this is like a counter ad campaign that Disney is putting out against Warner Brothers.
No, I mean, can you see Miss Piggy like doing yoga and Zen and be like, "Oh, Kermit, I respect you as a person and I value your opinion about everything. You are correctly right and I value your thoughts."
Yeah, tell me what woman's going to do that.
And then she karate chop him.
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny.
That would be how it would be.
Yes, I love you.
Being so zen, and then Kermit makes some sarcastic remark.
I wouldn't know what that would be.
And then she's going to go get him, because let's face it, she ain't going to take that crap.
That was, I think, pretty much the literal entire plot of Muppets in Space. I think so.
Yeah.
That and the shrimp, all the women chasing the shrimp was, I think, one of my favorite parts of that, which is probably a terrible thing. But there's that poor little shrimp, and all the women in the whole like thing are chasing the shrimp around.
It was like, oh no.
I remember that now.
Yeah, they're after me again. I was just supposed to distract them.
Isn't he French too?
He is.
He is French. Darn those French guys.
Did they get any?
Stereotypes. Just.
Did Jim Henson get any French actors, or is he just using their culture?
How dare they? No.
All right. Before we start wrapping things up, as I do actually have a couple more cartoon characters here that...
We're canceling more? I can't take any more.
Nope, they're not canceled yet.
It's all my
But
childhood.
can you guess what childhood characters should be canceled due to today's still standards?
Well, we already talked about Clifford, so...
How about this one? Homer Simpson.
Oh, he'd have been canceled decades ago. I'm shocked that he hasn't been.
This one's for strangling Bart for over 32 seasons now. Almost every episode.
Yeah. What a great father figure.
That's true. He doesn't hit his wife.
No.
That's good.
He takes it out on his son.
All right, here's another one. How about Jimmy Neutron?
What?
Why Jimmy Neutron?
Why Jimmy?
Because he creates weapons of mass destruction.
Which is
Yeah, that's
awesome, and
not
I'm
true.
jealous.
And like almost every episode, he almost always has to undo the invention that he made prior in that episode.
That's not wrong. But still, that's the whole point of the show. It's kind of like Phineas and Ferb. But that's not as much them as it is Doofenshmirtz. Which is what I call anyone at work that I can't remember their name.
Yeah, but I love Doofenshmirtz, though. I mean, I would really just watch a show about him.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Curse you, Perry the Platypus.
Asher came to me the other day and he's like, why do people watch this? The same thing happens every single episode.
Every episode.
That's why we
Watch it. I'm like, because it's fun. But trying to explain that to him, it didn't work. I
He
tried.
was like, why? I don't get it.
Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just play Minecraft?
Listen, I didn't like it either because I found Candace very annoying. Like how she was constantly like, Mom, the boys. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't handle that. Shut up. It wasn't until like the kids were older that I was like, oh, this show's actually funny as long as we ignore Candace.
She's not the main focus. That's the thing. If any of the characters annoy you in Phineas and Ferb, none of them are really the star. I mean, they all, like Perry the Platypus is one of the, but I think they did a really good job having an ensemble cast.
Yeah. But in all fairness, most girls annoy Beth, so you really can't take that too seriously.
It's true.
You know what happens if you put 60 girls in a room together alone?
We all hate each other.
Well, they usually end up killing each other by the end. You
Yeah.
don't give them anything else. You know what happens if you put 60 guys in a room together? You give them a ball and they play soccer.
Yeah, okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
They don't even have to speak the same language. They'll just be like, oh, look, it's a ball. Let's play soccer or something.
Listen, I went to school For 2 years in all-girls school, we were not allowed to mingle with anybody else except for my classroom. We hated each other by the time it was done. Hated each other. By the time we were able, our senior year, to mix with the other rooms, because we went to a vocational school, so it was much better. We got along with each other because we weren't stuck with each other all the time.
They didn't. I went to school with her.
There were just less of them to fight.
There was
more
less
room
of
to
us.
spread out.
We were like spread out.
They were like fresh meat.
Go get somebody else and beat up.
And Miss Piggy was born.
Oh, that's where she came from.
Oh, goodness. All right. So, all of this together, you got final thoughts, Mr. Bob?
You know what? The final thoughts for today would be, it's a joke. If you don't like it, don't watch it. You know what? I've been doing that with The View since this started. And guess I'm still not going to watch it.
Also, it's just a cartoon.
Once again,
They're fake.
I'm not going to drop an anvil on somebody. I might really want to. Not going to happen.
It
So
gives you the visual representation.
That kind of behavior.
Right? No. Nope, I agree. And I think a lot of it is you have to understand that entertainment's entertainment. Most things that we do, most people that we know, and even in the live action comedies, they take people and put them into extraordinary situations. And because it's funny. Like when you see people in silly situations, and they usually make ridiculous things happen that probably wouldn't happen in real life, but it's a TV show. You script it on purpose to do things. And so I think some of the cancel culture thing is making everybody like something that they're not. And like I said, all of the Muppets were designed to be an accentuation of a human trait per se. And a lot of the Looney Tunes were as well. Were made to be an accentuation of a human trait. I mean, Bugs Bunny is a jackass, so.
That likes to cause stress, but you know what? We'll come back to that another day.
Right. I just mean that's what they're made for. And I think people, like, that's what makes people unique and interesting is their personalities and their qualities that go along with that. And if you take that away from, I don't know, if you take that away from your cartoon characters or people, that they're not allowed to be a part of their character, then you lose a lot of individuality.
They're gonna be boring then. You're gonna be like, ugh, why am I watching this? This isn't entertaining. Like, I'm not laughing. I'm not getting...
It's like people that say we need to take the salt out of our food. Like, nobody will eat it.
Yeah, that gives flavor.
And with that, this is the Man Up channel. I'm your host, Bob Buckland. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you later.
Peace.
Later.